Happy Wednesday, Flosstube. Hello, crafty friends. How's everybody doing today? My name's Caroline. Welcome back, Daily Crafty Chat. Today, clearly, from a different spot. I had some errands to run this morning, so I brought my camera with me because I knew that time would be short today, and I only had a couple of things to share with you today, so I just thought that I would take a moment in the car. The sun is shining. I almost, you start to forget what the sun feels like outside, so it's been, I don't really mind sitting here all that much because it feels so nice that it's sunny outside. But it does, boy, can't wait to get back to the hairdresser. Take care of this mop on top of my head. But, so I didn't do any crafting last night. I don't have any progress to share with you today. Last night was one of those nights where, I was tired. I had a little mild headache, nothing serious. Just, I was just a bit tired, and my hand was feeling a little, not sore, but I felt like if I stitched for a couple of hours that maybe it might have aggravated. And I don't know, we get into those moods, don't we? Where it's just like, nothing, I want to work on Savon, but at the same time I want to start something new, and I thought it's best just to sit and enjoy the family. And so I vegged out. I vegged out in my stitching chair, and I watched TV last night, and that's all I did. We watched the finale of, what season is it? 36 or 37 of Survivor. It's the one, David versus Goliath. And we had the episodes saved up. So we watched the finale last night, and that was fun. Kids really liked that. I had a couple of things come up from yesterday's video. First of all, no one has sent me a funny story yet. So at the moment, Candace is the clear winner because no one's giving her any competition. So if you have a funny crafty story, then I hope that you will consider possibly sharing it with me. Feel free to email me, caroline@evertote.com. I'm gonna leave it open for a couple of weeks and see what kind of stories we get. So because I didn't get any stories emailed to me yesterday, today you're stuck with another one of my stories. So I'm pretty sure I've told this one before, but not for ages and ages. Maybe the first year that I was recording videos. When I was a fairly newer knitter, I started knitting this Afghan that had a lace pattern, and it was probably a little bit complex for a more beginner knitter, but I was persevering, and at that time I didn't have nearly as many projects on the go as I do now. So it sort of sat in a project bag next to my chair. Sarah was 3. She would have been about 3. And she had a friend over for a play date. And I knew the mom really well of this little girl. And that's actually why the girls were friends, because I was friends with her mom. And the girls were the same age. So I was having coffee with my friend, and the girls were playing in the living room. And all of a sudden, I won't name her, but the little girl, the friend of Sarah's, the daughter of my friend, came into the kitchen carrying my blanket in progress, my work in progress, literally. And let's use the word carrying loosely, dragging, more like it, I should say, dragging the blanket. And as I look over and I'm watching her dragging the blanket, I can see the stitches going plink, 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 plink as they fall off the needle as she drags the blanket over to the table to show her mom. Because this little girl loved blankets. She had a special blanket of her own that she slept with, and she was very used to carrying around her blanket at home. So when she saw a nice, snuggly, cozy knit Afghan blanket, she thought, you know, why not? That looks like something that I would really like. So many stitches came off the needle. And keep in mind that I was a new knitter and I didn't really know how to fix stuff. Yeah. That blanket then sat in the project bag for another 3 years. 3 years. Before I pulled it back out and figured out how to fix it. And it's not perfect, but it's good enough and it's finished. And that Afghan is now on my couch. So maybe I'll show it to you tomorrow. Anyways, that's my story for today. If you have a funny story, think back into your memory banks, something that happened in your past about any crafting project, whether, you know, something happened with an animal in your project or a child, or yourself. Maybe, you know, maybe you spilled something on it, but it was in a funny situation, anything like that. I'd love to hear it. And I think everybody else would too, just for fun. Okay, so that's it for me today. I better get a move on. One of the things that I did just do this morning was I've just dropped off the second batch of Canadian orders for the Leo and Roxy floss. So bunch more Canadian friends will be getting shipping notifications in about half an hour. And then the third and final batch of Canadian orders, I'm really hoping to get over to the post office tonight or first thing tomorrow morning. That's the goal. So yeah, things are moving along. Also, a side note about the shipping and handling rates. I've been correcting and refunding postage every time where it was clear that you paid too much in postage. So you should be receiving email notifications of that as well if you have received a slight refund on your postage paid. Very happily, I've been able to discover that I can get the Canadian orders out for much cheaper rates than sending bags, because clearly, you know, bags are bigger and more padded, but even though they're a thicker envelope, I'm still able to get them through the little tester they have at the post office. So Canadian rates finally should be a little bit more reasonable for me to send things around the country. So yay, that was really good news. Other than that, I think it's time to get back to work, make a coffee, and get on with my day. So I hope you're well. I hope that you're safe and that you have some crafting to do tonight. I think tonight, what's on deck tonight? I don't remember the next. John and I have also been watching Alone, which is, it's basically kind of like Survivor, except a little more extreme, and the contestants are completely by themselves in like the Canadian wilderness, and it is extreme. It's extreme. So if things like hunting or, you know, things like that, if you have trouble watching, you know, things like that, it might not be the show for you. But it is fascinating how you know, if they can figure out the shelter and food, really it becomes a mental game. And you know, sometimes it probably feels like that a little bit for us, you know, being isolated during the pandemic. It's a little bit of survival and mental games. So it's tough, you know, so let's try to find some funny and happy things to talk about and get through this. So, okay. I have to go back inside, but it is so sunny out here. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. So I'm kind of procrastinating a little bit, but I have work to do, so I better go. All right, tomorrow's video won't be me. Tomorrow's video is going to be Dorothy. I have the files. I just have to make sure that I can put them together into a lovely video for you to watch. So tomorrow you will be getting another history information video on the Firlanda samplers from Dorothy of... Okay, so I practiced this the other day. I was saying historisch. And I think that instead of there being 3 syllables, if I'm correct, there are 4 syllables. Historische. Historische. And the emphasis is on the store. Is that right? Historische Stickmuster. Maybe I'm a little closer with that. That's her shop in Germany, and she and her son are also the creators of the Silk Stitching app, which is the app where I purchased my pattern for the Furlanda HKVH sampler that I'm stitching. I am stitching it as a stitch along. So I hope you will enjoy tomorrow's video with Dorothy, and I will be back on Friday. So I'll see you then. So take care, everybody. Have a great night. Happy stitching, and I'll see you Friday. Take care.